The good news is about the Indian economy. India's vision of becoming the third largest economy by 2025 is on its way, and hats off to all the people who are contributing towards it. We are talking a lot about startups, the big corporates, but the major chunk of growth which is coming from MSMEs, very few people are talking about it. Government is also doing a lot of trying to help all the SMEs to grow. And today, in this particular topic, I'm going to talk about why this MSMEs are called the backbone of Indian economy. As you all know, I work very closely with all those entrepreneurs, business houses, and when I started exploring about MSMEs, I was really happy to know that such a huge quantity of SMEs are already there in India, and thanks to the mindset which is being changing now, people who were initially only willing to do a job, now they are creating jobs for the others. They are creating startups and they are growing like anything. And India has been one of those country in which startups are growing like anything. If you see the numbers, last 3 4 years down the line, the numbers were hardly 1,000, and today it's more than 75,000 startups which are really working and they are getting success. So here in this particular topic, I'm going to talk about only the SMEs, MSMEs, I would say, who are working as a backbone. So why they are called the backbone? You must be aware of it, but if not, let me give you certain pointers which will allow you to understand why MSMEs are the backbone. Number one, the huge number of MSMEs. So I'll tell you, this MSMEs are categorized into micro, small, and medium enterprises. Based on the turnover and the revenue which they are generating, they have been classified as either micro or small or medium. Now, this the quantity combined quantity of MSMEs is more than 69 millions in India. And what they are doing is they are creating uh, employment opportunities to more than 110 million of people in India. So you see the number, the huge number. And not only this, they're also developing the rural areas, the undeveloped areas, along with creating job opportunities. And this is why they are contributing more towards the growth. Now, these MSMEs are working in two primary sectors. Number one is the manufacturing, and number one is the service sector. So you must be coming across lots of objects or products which you're using. You might not be knowing exactly where they are coming from, except for those top branded companies which are marketing good and you can see them, you are visible to them because they are investing lot of money in visible ads, right? Apart from that, there are a lot of products which we normally use but we don't see the ads, right? Because these are smaller companies who are not capable of investing that kind of a money to popularize themselves or market themselves, but they are contributing silently to the Indian economy. And you will be surprised to know that the contribution of these SMEs are not only limited to creating jobs and all. Overall, they are contributing to more than 35% of the entire GDP, which is more than one third of the country economy. Now you understand the critical role of MSMEs towards the Indian economy, and that is why they are called the backbone. But they are also running behind time, and I would say they are also suffering lots of challenges because of a number of reasons. The big corporates, they are on a different note because they are being governed either by the foreign investment, FDI you can call it, or maybe there are companies, the multinational companies, which are getting funded by the foreign partners or their foreign associates or the parent companies outside India. And because of the currency difference, they are not feeling any kind of a heat. But here in India, every single penny is quite thought and then only spent. Here, the economics of doing business is entirely different. People tend to hire cheap laborers. And this is also one of the major challenges because of which the SMEs are not growing. Those SMEs who are okay, they are growing and they are adopting newer technologies as well. Even they are the people who are very seldomly, you know, spending money on the training part, training on the lower level employees. They are definitely hiring senior level at a very higher package, but when it comes to the lower level or the front end guys, the investment is very less. And that is why this lower level people who are literally carrying the career forward, they're not that way uh, found important in the company, although everybody knows that they're the people who are really working harder, right? The strategy part is definitely made in the cabins where brainstorming is done, but when it comes to actual execution, these are the people who, and if they are not trained, so a lot of productivity goes down because of untrained and unskilled people. There are other reasons, let's say financial capabilities. If I talk about, the government and the banks are there, but the way things should be, the way and the model in which this MSMEs needed fund, or the updated version of the classic example of doing payments is not being offered to by them, to by the banks to them, whether they are banks or NBFCs, which is non-banking financial institutes. They are not working in sync with what the MSMEs are looking for. So there are multiple things. Number one, as I discussed, is the skill labor. Number two is the financial capabilities and the sync in which the bank should be working hand in hand with the SMEs. That is not happening. Coming to the third part is the technology. The MSMEs are again very far away from adopting the newer ways of doing business. Few have already started it, no doubt about it, but the majority is still lagging behind. And that is why they are far, far away from what they should have been doing and growing in the pace, right? Now, coming back to the point and the challenges which the SMEs are facing, although they are the backup bone of the company. The government is working towards helping them to grow, but still there are lots of taxation issues and lots of statutory requirements which are literally uh, creating problems for them. Although GST has been one of those things which have streamlined a lot of things, but still, if you see uh, the core of action which is being required for a MSMEs to fulfill the statutory requirements, you will find that there are a lot of legal hassles which they are facing, and few of them are really, I would say, uh, out of their experience, they have grown very high, but they're not that literate as well. They are doing fundamental and basics. They have the basics and the knowledge of doing business. They have the business acumen, but they are not literate enough to cope up with the latest trends and technologies, and because of which they are also lagging at times. Now, coming to one major thing, which is the environment, which I'd like to pinpoint here. Although everybody is growing, and I have been discussing this at different platforms, like what we did with polythene, polyethylene, yes, the polymer of ethylene, which we normally use in houses. Polythene, when started in use, nobody even thought of the bad effects of that. Why didn't people thought about it? Why didn't the scientists thought about it? Why didn't the government took uh, measures to control? No, after let's say 25, 30 years, that is one of the major challenge, which is the pollution being created through this polyethylene. Similarly, we are talking about EVs and all, electrical vehicles. Yes, fair, very nice. But as of now, still, if I talk about the fossil fuels, the electrical vehicles are being run on the lithium ion batteries as of now. But the electricity produced is again being done through the fossil fuels, which is limited in uh, quantity. So although we are moving ahead and we are very proud saying that okay, we are moving from one step to another, but let us understand the core problem. Let us understand and work towards not only depleting the fossil fuels or the natural resources which we have. Let's talk and let's create something which is not only for us but for our future generations. So here, when we talk about MSMEs, wastage management and environmental friendliness is one of those problematic areas, because of which again they are facing lots of problems, because of not having that kind of a sufficient fund to, you know, create or do the wastage management proper. They are unknowingly or knowingly creating lots of wastage, which is an hazard to the environment and to all of us. So here I would like to tell you that there are a number of things which I can keep on talking. The primary objective of this video is to tell you that we are somewhere related to MSMEs. Many of us are MSMEs as of now, except for those who are above this category. They have grown higher in turnover and revenue. Most of the 70% of this, I would say, the Indian economy is entirely based on this MSMEs. So we have to think hand in hand for them as well. And we should also, the government as well as the people around us, should also be able to help them in terms of their growth and sustainability. And for them, the major problem is their mindset, because of which maybe they are not growing, which is the psychological errors, I would say. One is the fear of, let's say, taking more and more risk. Number two is the psychological behavior, again, in terms of adopting newer technologies. And third, which is again creating a system around them. So if the people, if this SMEs, MSMEs are willing to grow and keep contributing more towards the country's economy, and obviously building their own growth and scalability, they have to, number one, come out of their mental fear psychologically, and number two, adopt the latest trends of doing business. So if all these things are in sync, we definitely can think of MSMEs growing and definitely contributing more towards the country. So that's it. Thank you so much. My name is Alok, and as you know, I keep on talking about business entrepreneurship, especially MSMEs, where I found that they're the people who can grow even more if they are guided well. So I'm there to help at any point of time. If anybody needs any kind of a help and suggestion, please do get in touch with me. I'll be more than happy to help you. Thank you so much, and thank you again for listening patiently towards this topic. I look forward to your comments, reviews, and if you want to have anything which you want to talk on this particular topic or anything else, please do ping me or get in contact with me. Thank you so much. Bye bye.